Hello everybody, welcome back. I see y'all enjoyed that video from yesterday. I got a little bit of a video today. I'm watching my camera, looks like it's creeping. It's cause the grinder's leaned against the back of it. It's kind of turning the turntable. I have been busy today, very busy, as you can tell by all the junk sitting here on the table. I did not film a whole bunch of this because most of it's repetitive stuff. It's just stuff that I've done. We got the crank for the 125 cleaned up. Got the bearings off of it. Got it all nice and clean. I got the cylinder cleaned up a good bit. Got a seal put in it. Got these put back in after doing a little port work. I'll show you the numbers later. I honed it and everything. There's the old seal. There's old crank bearings. Something that I did find today. I don't know if y'all be able to see this or not. But if you look at the threads right there, I'm going to try to shine a light in here and see if y'all can see this. You see that? That's where the decomp's cracked. See the light shining through right there? This was the decomp that come out of it. The decomp was cracked. The old button had been on fire. It was melted. And I looked around and I did not have a decomp for 125. I just didn't. That's the piece that goes in the middle of the decomp. I might show y'all how it works. It's just like a valve and seat. It's tapered and there's a seat cut in here. And there's a seat and it pulls down, it seals it off. But this decomp was cracked and I wasn't about to put it back on there. So I took another one that I had that was worn and I rebuilt it completely. You can see where there's a wear mark on this one a little bit right there. Very positive engagement now. What I did is I figured out how to get it apart. I took it apart and there's a shoulder. This shoulder here, I took about 15 thousandths off this shoulder, which let the spring go down farther, which pulls it in tighter. I redone the seat. Lapped the seat with valve lapping compound, cleaned it, got it all put up in there and got it fitting where I liked it. Put it all back together, and the little head's like this. And the spindle goes up through the center of it. You put it all together and the spring goes on there, and then this drives down on there, and then you bash that into that tapered seat right there and that locks it in. So I put it all back together and made this nice aluminum knob to go on it. Come on, camera. But anyway, took way too long to do it, but I'm proud of it. Okay. Got the piston cleaned up. This winded up being either a steel or an iron bore with a 20 over piston in it, so it has been rebuilt. I cleaned up the intake plate, done a little port work in there, took the reeds and all off, file flattened this a little, well, not file flattened it, I lapped it on the granite surface plate with a piece of sandpaper, then went down to like a 400 grit, and it is velvety smooth. That's why my hands are This is from all the methanol being soaked into my hand, because I use methanol as a lubricant when I'm sanding these. And well, it's just what happens. I did find a new intake boot. I had one here. I knew I had one somewhere. I just had to find it. But this is a brand new one. And they are nice. They are nice. Goes down on there like that. Whoever done this glued this on here, and they did it backwards. You put this one on the tank, and then you push this one on as you put the saw together. But there's a few things I've done so far. This is a brand new set of Pfaffner 203K bearings. I got a brand new set right here, and I'm fixing to put them on the crank. And I think I can do it with my little pusher. I think it'll work. I'm gonna try it and see. I got them off with this, so I'm hoping that I can put them back on. I don't know that I can, but I'm gonna give it a shot. If I can find my dooflicky. These things, this little press is just, it's just almost too short. Matter of fact, it is too short. Anybody has a 2-ton arbor press? Y'all get at me, because I'm really tired of having to finagle these things around like this. Y'all give me just a second. I'm going to go tap this bearing on here just a little bit with the copper hammer. All right. I went over and just tapped both of them. I set them down on my little dooflicky and tapped them down. I still don't think it's going to do it. Let me flip this thing over. Come on now. Get in there. Stupid thing. Oh yeah. I got it. I forgot there's a hole up there in the end of it. And I can actually put the end of the crank up through that hole. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to get done. Trying to get done for the day. I was looking at this bearing. Sorry. You know. Stupid is as stupid does, they always say. There we go. Yep, if you've got a 1-ton and you try to do that, you wouldn't be able to, because see, there's a hole. There's a hole drilled up in here that don't originally come in these, because I made this little foot, and it goes up in there because I also made other little feet, like this bearing pusher. It's supposed to fit up in there, I think. Yeah, I might have a little burr on there I have to work off, because I just pushed it up in there a little bit goofy by accident. Forgot what I was doing. But I made several, and there's a little set screw over here on this side that tightens them in there. I've made several different things for this rascal. It does come in handy, but I'd really like to have a 2-ton. I'd like to have one that's at least up this high and has a bigger hole down here at the bottom, because this one really does, it really does get after me sometimes. See if this thing will fit back in there. If it won't, I may have to, you know. See, that little set screw just holds that in there, and That way it doesn't mushroom up the end of this. I mean, I actually could cut the end of that thing off, make it go way on up in there, but you can't get so much out of it. I got to snug this bolt back up. I had to slide it forward a little bit. I had to slide it forward a little bit because it's just catching on the end of the table. Don't get me wrong, I love this thing. I've used it a lot, but having one that's a little bigger would be nice. I want to show y'all that. We might get in here right quick. Since I got all that cleaned up, I've washed the cylinder out. I don't think I'm going to clean on the cylinder anymore. I probably won't, but I'm going to. Come on, oil. Put a little oil on this seal here. You might see if we can get this. I had a heck of a time getting these bolts out. These are the bolts for the rods. They're special bolts. I usually cut a straight slot and take them out with the screwdriver. Them would not come out. I had to weld a nut on. But I replace them with these. These are Monster bolts. They come from the Monster bolt manufacturer straight off their website. monsterbolts.com or something like that. I'm not affiliated with them, but I do use their bolts. They say they're guaranteed not to break, but well, it's like guaranteeing you won't get a speeding ticket. If you're doing something wrong and you get caught, you're going to get in trouble. So sometimes you get in trouble doing that with this stuff too. I got the piston cleaned up real nice and good. I'm going to put a little oil on the needler bearings down up in there. I'll put a little oil on the edge of this pistioneus. Get it in the rings real good. Make sure your rings are around your pins, because it will not go in the slot if it is not. There we go. We're jumping right into this for now. We probably ain't going to get a lot accomplished because it's the end of the day. But nonetheless, y'all might get to see how this thing kind of fits back together. If I can get a little bit better angle. I know some people have watched me do this before. And trying to film it so y'all can see it is a royal pain. Sit there. This should be copper. Copper is the way to go. Now, this is the part that can be quite annoying, because we have to pull that rod up there like that, and now we have to put bearings in it. And I know that y'all cannot see this. I have tried to film this before. It's not a very easy thing to do. Even doing it is not easy, is what I'm saying. I'm going to count my bearings right quick. There's 6, 9, 10, 13, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24. There's 24 bearings. 12 in the top, 12 in the bottom. Now, I've already cleaned the rod, and I've cleaned the rod cap and everything, and I've tried to get it as best as I can get them cleaned. I've set and cleaned these bearings on different things. I know it looks a little dusty over here, and there is a little bit of gasket material that keeps falling over here for some reason. I don't know why. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The biggest thing is to get them as clean as you possibly can whenever you go to put them back together. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of grease right here in this cap. And I'm going to start dropping needle bearings in there that y'all can't see because the block's sitting in the way. I got 12 bearings counted out over here. I'm just going to try to drop them in that grease and try not to touch them with my greasy pointer finger. If I can help it. But some people have never done this, and some people have. And if you've done this, you know exactly what I'm doing right now. Because this can be a royal flush. It can be a royal flush. Now, I'm going to attempt to put the rollers in without using grease this time. I've never done this before. I've always used grease and stuck them in there. But I'm going to try to just drop them in there without using any grease. And also, there's another thing y'all need to know. When you go to put this rod back together, I should have showed you. There's a dot back here on this side, and there's a dot on this rod cap. Right. See that little dot? Right there? This rod cap's going to flip right over and go right on that rod, just like I have it sitting here now. And no way am I going to be able to do this where y'all can actually see it. But I'm going to try push them down in there just like that, and keep them between the crank and the rod, and keeping them between there should keep them from falling out. Should. I did say should, didn't I? And you'll know if they're all in there or not, because if they ain't, you won't get a good even look at it. It'll lay over to one side. It just won't feel right. I've got about half of them in there now. Come on now. Put some in this side too. Got 3 more. Two more. And when you start pushing down on one side and they start coming up on the other side, that's when you know you're getting there. All right, there's all of them in there. Now, the odds that I can do this without messing up. Woo! Hot dog. I didn't plan very well because I don't have any Loctite out here. Apparently I ordered all red, no blue. Whoops. Wait a minute. What is this? Oh, there's the blue. I was just kidding. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of this blue Loctite. Loctite 243. We're going to put a little bit on each one of these monster bolts. Put them in there. Swat everything around. Wished I could find my doohickey. My doohickey. I'm going to look at it and make sure the rod looks like it's going together well. Make sure that both of those pins are lined up, and they are. I don't know what the actual torque specs are on these, but tighten them up, get them good and tight, and don't break them off or strip them. After you do this a while, you kind of get used to the feel of it. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that went way, way, way better. If you're doing this for the first time, do not expect it to go that well. I'm sorry, it just doesn't usually. Then again, maybe it will. But I would not bank on it going that well, okay? I would not bank on it. I did check the timing numbers earlier, and I adjusted them. So, we're going to get a look at them right quick, see what they come up to. My head might be in the way for some of this, but we're going to see what we can do with it. Okay, we're going to set this in here, rock back there. We're going to 0, go around, it stops, 97 divided by 2, 97 divided by 2 is 48.5. 119 on the transfers. About 95.9 on the exhaust. .96. Yeah, I'm gonna call it 95.9, 96. So 119 to 96. We got 25 degrees of blow down. That ought to be good to go. Now I know some of y'all are saying, well, Hopper, what about the intake? There is no intake setting on this thing. You can't change the intake. The intake is through the reeds. If somebody ever said, is this a reed saw? These are the reeds. The air comes through here. When the piston goes up, it creates a negative pressure down here. It draws through here. And then whenever the piston starts to come back down, these shut. So that's why I've done all the filing on these to make this surface right here nice and flat. Because the way this thing works, I don't know if y'all can see it or not. This is going to be in the saw like this. This will be on the saw like this. This is what it looks like inside the saw. So the air fuel goes in here, collects down here, and then it's shoved back up. It gets shoved up. It will get shoved. See those three ducts? It'll go up those three ducts, and whenever you bolt this on here, this creates the top duct for these three transfer ports here. So there's three here, and these are the other three on this side. You have to knock these plugs out if you really want to get in there and grind. You can knock them out going through this side. As long as you're careful and use something small, you can reuse them. Drive them back in there. Oh. Alright, so we know what the timing numbers are. We've got new bearings in it now. I'm probably going to call that a day. For now, I'm going to squirt just a little bit of oil on these bearings because I put them in dry. But that's a brand new set. They're Fafner bearings, FAFNIR 203Ks. That's what I run. PTO side 125 Chicago Rawhide Industry 6816 is the seal number. And a national number too. I use national and Chicago Rawhide, just depending on which one I can get hold of. There she is. Now I've still got a bunch of cleaning to do. I've still got to do all this cleaning here. That seal right yonder does not feel bad. I do have one of them laying here. We'll see how it goes. I've got a bunch more junk to clean up here. But so far, that's what we got. I've been running the Vavra ultrasonic cleaner. I have been running that thing since yesterday. If you want one of these ultrasonic cleaners, there's a link in the description on this video where you can go and order you some stuff, and that counts to me. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. That oil cup is extremely nasty. There's the stuffer plate. I've been cooking the far out of it. It's still a little cruddy because there's some white death in here. It will not take the white death off of it, but it does help it gets the junk off of it where I can clean it and blast the cabinet. Now, if you're wondering, this thing goes right there. And see what it does, if you can see it. You cannot. This cups around the crank and takes up space in the bottom end to create a higher charge pressure in the bottom end. That's what that's for. I'm probably going to take this back there and throw it in the blasting cabinet, hit it with a little bit of glass, and inspect it with a light. And what I do inspecting it with a light is I either shine a light on it or I turn all the lights off and I hold it up. I'll hold it up like this. See how you can see the hole? Well, if there's a pinhole in it, that's how you find the pinholes in the stuff. Get in a dark room and shine a light up in it. But that's what we're gonna do. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that. There's not much, but this is part of getting it going. I have been working on this thing all day long. It's 5:11 now. I started on it this morning. And I worked on it last night too for a little bit. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Stay safe, be kind, treat each other the way you want to be treated. God bless. Remember, Jesus loves you. So do I. Bellhopper out.